ASU is going to shock the world and put themselves on the map when they beat Texas in the Peach Bowl thanks to Kenny Dillingham's elite coaching.
You are Locked On Sun Devils, your daily podcast on the Arizona State Sun Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name's Richie Bradshaw, and I will be your guide for everything Arizona State Sun Devils. Shout out to my everydayers who are here every day, and thanks to all of you for making us your first listen of the day. Game day is here, or at least it's tomorrow, but we got to talk about it now because ASU has one of the biggest games in program history against Texas. We've said that quite a few times this year, and yet they just keep getting bigger and bigger. ASU is taking on the blue blood Texas Longhorns, and we're going to preview the whole thing. I got some bold predictions and score predictions at the end for you. We're going to talk about players to watch. I'm going to highlight the offense and the defense, what they need to do, but we got to start with Kenny Dillingham, the man who will lead ASU to a victory. It starts with Kenny Dillingham, and everything that Kenny Dillingham will be able to do in this game is going to be reflected in how the game turns out. ASU wins. Kenny Dillingham probably had a almost flawless executed plan that he had ready from the get-go. ASU doesn't win this game. It's going to be very reflective of the game plan going into this, because here's the thing. ASU, still a very talented football team. I have been interacting with Texas fans for over a week now at this point, and I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, supporting, and for all the comments and the votes and everything on those polls. I will have a bonus episode a little later on today that will be talking about all of your guys' opinions and what ASU fans need to know. As a thank you, here's a horns down. I do appreciate you guys seriously, though. But the thing that I have continually heard from Texas fans, and then from pundits as well, there's a talent difference. There's 5 stars, there's 4 stars, there's NFL players, and this, that, and the other. And I hear it, and I've played into it a little bit. And while I don't disagree that Texas is the more talented team than ASU, there's one thing Texas needs to remember. This is still a really good Sun Devils team. We didn't get here by accident. We didn't get this far in the season with a bad roster. Yeah, I talked a lot of rah-rah, right? I said, yeah, this team, they're just playing with passion and a fire and all this, that, and the other. And it's like, yeah, you can play with all of that, but then you get punched in the face and it doesn't matter. I talked about that on yesterday's crossover edition with Jonathan Davis from Locked On Longhorns. If you guys didn't check that one out, definitely check that one out, because I got a chance to defend everything that I said, and you get the Texas perspective of it as well. Make that your second listen if after this one. But I said that yesterday. I said, look, I can sit here until I'm blue in the face and tell you, yeah, ASU's playing with passion. They're playing with heart, the power of friendship, and this, that, and the other, right? When you get punched in the mouth, none of that matters. What matters is how you respond. And ASU can respond. They've responded all year. You haven't played a team like Texas. I don't disagree with you. You haven't played a team like Arizona State. Well, we've played more talented teams. I don't disagree with you. You haven't played a team like Arizona State. This is a unique football team that has so much more talent than anyone is willing to give them credit for. And that's the thing that's ticked me off the most over the last week. This is a very talented Sun Devils football team that you're going to come to realize for yourself. But let me get off that soapbox because we have other stuff to talk about here. Let's talk about Sam Leavitt, the new favorite person associated with the Arizona State Sun Devils for Texas fans. Hopefully Sam took a little bit of pressure off me, because I got about 100 stab wounds in the back of my back from the Texas fans that have been attacking me. And now Sam Leavitt's face is perfectly posted on a target dartboard, and his face is the bullseye. Why is that? Because he said he's looking forward to playing Quinn Ewers and proving he's the best quarterback. I thought it was pretty crazy to put that out there as bulletin board material. That typically doesn't go over well. I don't think Sam meant it to be an insult to Quinn as much as it was a statement of everyone's going to know who I am by the end of the day. But he didn't back down. I mean, he was asked about it again. He doubled down. So it's not like he said something he didn't mean to say. He means it. He means he is going to go out there in Atlanta. Goodness, I couldn't remember where it was, for the Peach Bowl. And he's going to prove he's the best quarterback on the field. And I love it. I love the moxie in my players. Having a quarterback that's confident in himself like that, that's a difference maker. Like, you want this athlete that has all the talent in the world, isn't afraid to boast himself up, but then just gets the work done behind the scenes. That's Sam Leavitt. I don't see him on social media blasting other guys and tweeting and all this stuff. He's just your average kid. Like, he's working out, he's doing his job, he's doing his homework and in classes and having fun. He's not on the news being super distracting. This is certainly something that got the news's attention, but I don't mind the way he's gone about this. It'd be very different if he were to say, like, oh yeah, Texas is horrible, we're going to expose them, blah, blah, blah. That I would have a problem with. What I interpreted Sam as saying is, I'm going to prove I'm the best quarterback. And we're going to find out, because Texas fans have absolutely taken notes. That is bookmarked. That is something that they have clipped up little videos of, and they're going to have it all over the place if you don't stand up to your word. But I love it. And quite frankly, a lot of ASU's chances to win this game hang in the balance of Sam Leavitt. What he does is going to determine this. Like I said with Kenny Dillingham, dialing up the perfect game plan. That's where most of this comes down to. Another huge chunk of it is the play of your quarterback. You're only going to go as far as your quarterback. And they need Sam Leavitt to have the best game he's ever had in his entire life. Pee-wee football, high school, Michigan State, Arizona State, doesn't matter. He needs to have the best professional game of football he's ever had. That's asking a lot for a guy who's going up against arguably the best defense in college football, and certainly one of the best, if not the best, secondaries in football. He's going to need some help. He's got Cam Skattebo, the people's running back. Why do we call him that, ladies and gentlemen? Say it with me. Because he can run it, he can catch it, he can punt it, he can pass it, and he's your mom's favorite football player. And Texas seems to think they can shut him down. I got bad news for you guys. You're not. You're not shutting him down. No one has. If you do, I'll eat my words. 100%. I know there's Texas fans watching this. Clip it. Clip this. If you shut him down, I will eat my words. But you're not gonna. He's too good. He is the best running back that you will face this year. I don't know everyone you played last year, the year before, in the Sarkisian era. But I know that this year you have not played a running back as good as Cam Skattebo. Whether you want to tell me it's Trevor Etienne or anyone else, it's Skattebo. He's gonna have a lot of pressure that is put on his back in this game, especially if Sam is struggling, and he should be fine. So from there, it's what's going to step up in the passing game to help out Sam. Well, Cam Skattebo catches the football. That's good. They've got some guys that I trust. Shimon Mateer, Xavier Guillory, Melcon Stovall. They've got guys here. The trenches. This is something I highlighted as like, this is another one of the biggest components in this game. So if you're looking at it from a not player perspective or not coaches, because Kenny Dillingham, biggest factor, Sam Leavitt, biggest factor. I can't keep saying everything's the biggest factor, right? If you are looking at just a position group or a scenario kind of thing, then the trenches is it. The offensive and the defensive line for both Texas and ASU. This is where the game's going to be won and lost, because ASU is going to want to run the football, and guess what? So is Texas. Who runs the football better? That's probably going to be the team who wins. And Texas, yeah, they can run that football, man. They got 2 first-round NFL tackles with Kelvin Banks and Cameron Williams. They can do whatever they want. It's going to be a heck of a battle for you. And you've got a good run defense and you've got the pieces there, but this has to be almost perfect defense against Texas, and they're still going to run on you. Like, I just don't envision a scenario where ASU shuts down Texas's run game. I think they can contain them, but they're too talented in the backfield. They're too talented on the offensive line, and Sarkisian is just a brilliant offensive play caller. It's going to be a challenge. So now you need to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to approach this? We can't stop them. We can slow them down. How is this going to change everything up? Can we force the game to go into Quinn Ewers' hands? First of all, big Quinn Ewers fan. You can search up all of my Twitter. You will find that I am an Ewers fan. Truly am. I know what he is, and he's not elite, but you can win a championship with him. He is a very good quarterback. If ASU forces the game into his hands entirely, ASU has a great chance of winning this game. Still a good quarterback. You can win a national championship with him. Don't pretend I didn't say that, Texas fans. They've got Isaiah Bond out there. That's a game wrecker. ASU is going to be missing Shamari Simmons in the first half. How's Montana Warren going to be able to step in? Is ASU going to hold back the big play? Like, I got a lot of questions on defense because I think ASU can put up some points on offense, even against an elite defense. Because again, ASU's offense is way more talented than you're willing to give them credit for, Texas. ASU's defense, same thing. But in the same sense that I could argue that ASU's offense is still going to be able to put up points against a good Texas defense, Texas's offense is still going to be able to put up points against a very good ASU defense. Like, I can't sit here and tell you that ASU is perfect across the board or that Texas is perfect across the board, because I think there's going to be points put up in this game. And I think that Texas is going to, what am I trying to say? ASU is going to want to stop what Texas does best. You can slow it down. I don't know you can stop it. The biggest thing that you can do is contain that big play. Because Jaden Blue rips off a 50-yard run, touchdown or not, that hurts. That hurts. You got to contain that stuff. It's the big plays that the defense needs to figure out. If you give up 400 yards of offense to Texas, but it's more spread out, I suppose. 400 yards is a lot of yards, but to me, there's a difference between 400 yards where you didn't really have anything too big going on, is just maybe a lot of time of possession, and 400 yards because there was 4 touchdowns that were each 30 or more yards. Like, that's a difference to me. So ASU can play the role of the bend but don't break defense, which, by the way, they're not, and I've died on that hill on this podcast before. I don't have time to keep going into that. ASU just needs to contain the big play. When they are on the defensive side of the ball, they'll find a way to stay in this game. There are certain players that are going to have a more important role in this game, offensively, defensively, and I do want to talk about Kenny Dillingham more in just a moment as we switch over to talk about players to preview, plus a little bit of Kenny Dillingham. That's coming up next. This is the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Guys, I want to talk to you about Rocket Money because it's the best. Rocket Money is the best, and it's going to help you save money on subscriptions that you didn't think you were paying for, or even paying for them twice, because I got Rocket Money because I want to be on the right side of my finances heading into the new year. And I'll be totally upfront and honest with you guys. There was a lot of stuff that I did not realize I was paying for. And Rocket Money made it easy to track everything down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. It's a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions. It also helps monitor your spendings and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, spending habits, or goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year with all the app's premium features. And like I said, it's the subscription tracker for me. That was the difference here. I'm wondering why I can't save money. I'm wondering why I'm behind so much. Well, it's because I'm paying for stuff I'm not even using. I don't think I was paying for anything twice, but Rocket Money would be the first to tell me if I was. now I can not stress out every single month. I can start putting money aside for my future, which is something that I haven't been able to do no matter how much I try and budget. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Thanks as always to all of you for making us your first listen of the day. Shout out my everydayers who are here every day. Here are the players and the coaches for offense, defense, special teams, whatever, that are going to affect this game the most. As is typical, and as my everydayers have requested, I will always talk about Sam Leavitt on this segment because he is always a player to watch. Sam Leavitt, you talk the talk, man. Like, you are the talk of the town in Texas. Austin, Texas, as this game is coming up, there's a lot of conversations that are being had. Sam Leavitt's got to be top 3. Texas fans, I know you're here. If Sam Leavitt is like the most talked about player right now for ASU, just drop a comment because I want to prove something. I am very positive Sam Leavitt is the guy that everyone's focused on. And it should be because he's talking that talk. He's boosting himself up. He better back it up or Texas is going to make him pay for it. Rightfully so. And the same goes for me, the guy who has said and will continue to say that Sam Leavitt is definitively better than Quinn Ewers. Standing on it, dying firm on it. Hold me accountable, hold Sam accountable if it happens. You talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. How are you going to attack the secondary? Who's going to be your go-to guy? Are you going to have a go-to guy? How's the coaching going to help you out? What's Kenny Dillingham got up his sleeve? What's Marcus Arroyo getting ready to throw out there for you? Who should we expect to see a lot of? Should we expect way more rotation than we previously have? Got a lot of questions there. Cam Skattebo, got to talk about him too. Cam Skattebo, the people's running back. We already talked about that earlier. The people's Heisman, as some people have called him. If he struggles, can ASU still win this game? We haven't really had to answer that question this year because Cam Skattebo has not struggled this year. His bad games, right, where he's under 3 yards of carry or he's held out of the end zone, ASU still finds a way to win those football games. Like, they just do great things with Cam Skattebo, whether it's this elite fantasy football performance or he just grinds out really hard yards. We've won a lot of games this year, and Cam Skattebo has been important in every game. I don't even know what his worst game would be. Like Texas State, under 3 yards carry, but he still scored 2 touchdowns. Like Texas, I'm curious what shutting him down looks like to you. Because Cam Skattebo has been shut down this year, and ASU still wins games because he gets into the end zone or he grinds out hard yards, gets time of possession and all that good stuff. What does shutting Cam Skattebo down look like to you? Let me know, because I don't know what you think it is. It's not going to happen anyways. But even if it does, can ASU still win this game? Okay, let's flip it. If Sam Leavitt struggles, can Cam do it by himself? Can Cam win this football game by himself if Sam Leavitt simply cannot do it? What's the workload going to be? I would imagine 30 touches against this Texas defense. I would imagine 30 touches. I don't know what his career best is at Arizona State. He should challenge it in this game for sure. Defensively, like I'm looking at every single guy specifically. I want to see how everyone handles their matchups. The interior of the defensive line. How are you going to hold up against this beefy interior offensive line? The edge rushers, the linebackers. What's it going to look like when you're trying to get to the edge and set it against the run? How are my corners going to play up against future NFL receivers like Ryan Wingo and Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond and Gunnar Helm at tight end? How are you going to hold up? But one guy I'm more curious than anyone else is Montana Warren, the redshirt freshman safety for ASU. And I have been singing his praises since he was a true freshman, and we saw him in practices over a year ago. Unfortunately, he missed just about the entirety of last year with a broken leg, and then we saw him sparingly this year. He had the big splash play against UCF where he blocked a punt that was picked up and returned by our linebacker, and now I can't think of his name. He's been on the field this year, but it sounds like he is in the role right now with Shamari Simmons missing the first half of this game due to the crappy and not accurate targeting penalty that was issued to him in the Big 12 championship game. He has to miss the first half. Montana Warren's going to be the guy who steps into that role. How's it going to look? Because we have not seen a lot of Montana Warren on the field since he's gotten here. I still love him, and I still think that this is it's a kid who's just bound to play really good football. But we don't know that for sure. And he's going up against an absolute buzzsaw with this Texas running game. And he's going to be asked to be Shamari Simmons. And Shamari Simmons fills the holes, flies sideline to sideline, and stops the run. Is Warren ready to do that? We're going to find out. Is Warren ready to inherit roles of being a nickel defender in coverage? We're going to find out. It's a huge question I have. I have probably my biggest question in my notes is simply labeled the kicker, because I don't know who it is. Karsten Kiefer, Ian Hershey, Parker Lewis. I don't know who's kicking. But I have one question, man. Whoever it is, Kiefer, Lewis, Hershey, Richie Bradshaw, can you convert points when we need them? Because in this game at this level, and for the rest of the playoff, but take it one game at a time, we need every single point we can get. You cannot leave opportunities on the board when we need them. So if it's a 25-yard field goal or a 45-yard field goal. And I promise that Kenny's not going to place you in situations where you are bound to fail. But when the team needs you, can you step up? Because we've needed you to step up all year and we just haven't seen it. This has to be it. And I mean, this is for your future with the program too, because ASU is already added one kicker. I don't think they're done. So if you want to ensure not just yourself, but for the fans, your teammates, your coaches, everyone, that you can step up when it matters, you got to do it now. Now's the time. And I talked about Kenny Dillingham, but I do want to mention again that a lot of the success of this game is going to come down to him dialing up the perfect game plan. So that means keeping these players checked in, focused in, zoned out. I don't hear the outside noise. I don't hear the crowd around me. I don't hear ASU fans. I don't hear Texas fans. I see the guy in front of me. I'm focused on my 111th. That's what they've been preaching since they got here. Do your 111th. You need to make sure these guys are checked in and focused. This is a huge stage, something that the vast majority of the players on Arizona State have never seen before. They've never seen anything like this. Emotions will be high. You have got to make sure that they are dialed in and focused every single second of that game, or it's not going to go well. What the game plan? It's got to be. I don't say you need to change everything you've done because it's worked. But you need to understand that if it doesn't work, you've got to make those pivots quickly. I talked yesterday about Brian Ward and how he's the master of adjustments and everything, but he's got to be able to make them quick. Kenny Dillingham's got to be able to do the same thing. This is a big game coming up, though. Naturally, I've got a final score and I've got bold predictions. Those are coming up next. This is the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. One last time, thanks to all of you guys for tuning in and making us your first listen of the day. Shout out to my everydayers who are here every day. All right. It's the best part about these shows. Bold predictions, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, a final score. It's what we've all been waiting for. It's what Texas fans have been waiting for. They've seen my analytical podcast recently. They saw my rah-rah podcast. Here's your game day preview, Texas. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Let's get started. Bold prediction number 1, 2 on offense, 2 on defense. Bold prediction number 1, Cam Skattebo will answer the call. Give me 150 scrimmage yards, 2 touchdowns. I wanted to go a hat trick, but that would be 4 straight games of a hat trick. At some point, what is it? Odds, I guess. I can't think of what I'm trying to think of. Like, eventually things have to slow down a little bit. So I'm taking a whole touchdown off the board, 150 scrimmage yards, and 2 touchdowns for Cam Skattebo as he does what he can to help this offense get going. Sam Leavitt, bold prediction number 2. Yeah, he's going to be more than good enough. I don't foresee this elite game, but I definitely don't think that this is going to be a bad football game for Sam Leavitt either. Give me 200 passing yards. Give me 2 total touchdowns. Could be 2 rushing, could be 2 passing, could be 1 of each. Heck, he might catch 1. I don't know. Maybe on a trick play from Cam Skattebo. Most importantly, though, no turnovers. No turnovers in this game from Mr. Sam Leavitt. Defensively, bold prediction number 1. The run defense, it's going to do just enough in this game. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be horrible. It's going to do what you need. You just need to find a way to slow these guys down. I just don't see any scenario where you just stop Texas. I don't. That's just such a good team, especially running the football. But if you can slow them down, hold them to a good day, not a great day. That's enough in this game. And I think that's what happens. I think ASU holds them to a good day, not a great day. Bold prediction number 4. Quinn Ewers, he'll be good, but ASU's going to get him. I got 3 sacks, 2 turnovers for Quinn Ewers, who I still think is going to find a way to have a good day. Like, I don't think this is a game that Quinn Ewers just bombs. He's going to have a good day, but just know he's getting sacked and he's committing some turnovers. 1 bonus bold prediction for you. I think, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again today. I think this game is going to come down to a special teams blunder. I think that there is going to be something really obscure that happens in this game on special teams. Maybe it's a missed field goal. Maybe it's a shanked punt and it's really bad field position. God forbid it's a block. Something's going to happen on special teams in this game because neither team has good special teams. Texas doesn't. ASU really doesn't. Something's going to happen in this game with special teams. I don't know who commits it, but I do think whoever commits it is going to lose the game. Thankfully, I got Texas making that mistake. Give me ASU over Texas. 28-27. 28-27. No matter what, ASU is covering 13.5. From our good friends at FanDuel, 13.5 is what they think that Texas will win by. They're not. A lot of people saying Texas winning by 20. They're not. People think they're going to just run ASU off the field. They're not. You're just not. This isn't a bad football team that you are trying to portray it is. This is a damn good football team. And it's a football team that hears you. Yeah, you guys come after me. You're very loud. You're very negative. This, that, and the other. These Texas players, they hear everything that you're saying. You do realize ASU is hearing you too. You in my comments. These ASU players are noticing. They see the way that these Texas fans are parading around. And they love it. The same way that you love it, ASU loves it. We are in for a good old-fashioned slugfest. It's going to be a hell of a game. Way better than anyone thinks it is. Texas, you're complaining. You have to play at 11 a.m. You want real competition. You're going to get some real competition. You're going to get some humble soup in the meantime, too. Yep. Here I am talking that talk. I can be as unbiased as I need to be, and I can flip a switch when I need to. This is my game day preview. This is how I think this game's going to go down. These are the players, the positions, the coaches who are going to impact the game. These are my bold predictions, and that is my final score. ASU over Texas in the Peach Bowl, 28-27. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Give me your final score prediction. Roast me if you want. Make sure my ASU fans that are in there, throw a little horns down in there to the Texas fans that have been respectful. Back at you. I hope we have a good game. That being said, definitely horns down, forks up. I can't wait for this game. Don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere. ASU loses by 50. I'll still be right here. ASU wins by 50. I'll be right here, and I hope you will be too. So to make sure that you hold me accountable, now's the time to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And you'll get that update whenever we post new content, which is every day, by the way. You can stay in touch as well, and you can roast me on Twitter at RichieBrats36 and the podcast at LO_Sun Devils. Wherever you're getting your shows, though, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you get an update whenever we post new content. I appreciate all of you for tuning in to Locked On Sun Devils. I especially appreciate my everydayers who are here every day, and thanks to all of you again for making us your first listen of the day. I myself will be in Atlanta for this game. If you see me on the street, come on up, say, hey, I'm going to be there with my old man. Come hang out. Let's talk. Let's have a good time. Throw me a forks up. Throw me a forks down. If you're a weirdo, throw horns down. Let's chop it up. Be respectful. I'm going to be respectful to you. Let's go ASU. Forks up, horns down. I'll catch you guys later. We will definitely be going live, and I will be finding a way to stay up to date with you guys. Keep you up to date on everything that happens after the game. So stick around, turn on notifications, and subscribe. I'll see you later. Till next time, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun Devils.